Okay, so let's start, guys. So till now, what we have learned, a quick recap. So we have seen what is a variable means, right? So then we have seen what is an identifier means, right? Um, then we have seen like an multiple variables assignment on single line, right? Multi variables assignment, right, on single line, right? It may be with an same value or different value, right? Same value or different value, right? Then we have seen the data types, right? So then we have seen operators, right? And then we have seen comments, right? And then we have seen so the comments, we have seen two types of comments, single line and multi-line comments. Then we have seen yesterday a conditional statement, right? So this is what we have learned till yesterday, right, in last two classes. So today what we are going to learn is the loops, right? So today what we are going to learn is the loops, right? So I'm just pasting these topics for your information, right? So that you know what we are learning, where we are, right? So where is the screen? Give me a minute. I'm struggling to find out our screen. So I'll just paste it in our chat. These are the topics which we have. Okay. So just for your information, right? So let's start for today's class. What we talked about, that is now as the loops, right? So what is a loop and why do we need the loops, right? So I think some of you are new. For them I'll repeat. Some of you are old students. You might know why we use loops and what is the necessity of it and what are the different types of loop we have. But still we are going to revise the same today also, right? So generally if you look at any programming language, the execution is a sequential by default. Sequential means the statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, statement 4, like this. Sequential execution. These are the instructions. These are the instructions, right? If you look at any programming language, right? So, but there are chances when you are writing a program, there are chances you may wanted to alter the flow of the program, right? You may not wanted to go sequentially like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not like that, right? You may wanted to alter that sequential flow of a program, right? The execution of specific code may needed to repeat it several number of times, right? We might want to repeat certain code n number of times, right? Or maybe 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. Now, so there are two options we have. One is write that same piece of code multiple times, which is not good, right? So you are writing same code again and again, right? That means you are increasing number of lines of code also, and the code modularity also is not good, right? Then what is the another option? Is the option is write once and execute that statement n number of times. How much over time you wanted to repeat it. Then take an example. There is an instruction 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5. These are the 5 instructions, and if I have a necessity that 4 and 5, instruction 4 and 5, I want to run 5 times. That means I need to place these two instruction in a loop, right? And that loop will run for several iterations, right? It depends on how many iterations or how many times you wanted to run these statements, right? So that is nothing but a loop, right? That is nothing but a loop. Every programming language has this facility, right? So take an example. I'll give an example. I wanted to print an first 10 natural numbers, right? Right, first 10 natural numbers, right? What are the first 10 natural numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10, right? So do I need to write the print statement 10 times? No, right? I can write it, but if I'm writing it, it takes longer time. Also, the same print statement will be repeated 10 times. Then the loop will come into a picture, which will help us to write a print statement once and loop it 10 number of times, right? 10 times, right? So then you will be printing 1 to 10 with that one print statement itself. So that's the benefit of an loops, right? So basically, if you wanted to give a proper advantages of loop, is one is it provides code reusability. What is the advantage? It will provide the code reusability. Reusability. What is the spelling? E-A-B-I-L-I-T. Okay, correct. So code reusability means what? Write once, execute a number of times. Execute a number of times. Second, we don't need to write the same code again and again, right? Do not need to write same code. Do not need to write same code again and again, right? So let's take an example. I wanted to run 10 lines of code 5 times, right? I don't write that 10 lines of code 5 times, right? I will write only once. So do not need to write same code again and again. This is because of a loop. This is because of loop. Third benefit of this loops is which can help us to traverse over the data structures, elements in data structures, right? So we have certain data structure, you know, right? In Python we have data structure like list, we have tuple, right? We have an set, etc. Right? These are the data structures we have in a Python, right? So it will help us to traverse over that. I can go through an entire list, or I can go through an entire tuple using what? A loop, for loop, right? Using the loop. So that means what? We can traverse, right? We can traverse, V-E-R-S-E, traverse, right? We can traverse over elements in data structure, DS. So data structure can be maybe a list or a tuple, etc. Right? Understood, guys? So the loop, as I said to you, loop, right? Loop will help us to write the code only once and run that code a number of times, right? Which will help us to alter the flow of execution, right? And the benefits of that, one is the code reusability. Second, no need to write the same code again and again. Third, traverse over the element in data structure, right? So now, what are the different loops we have then, right? So okay, fine. We talked about loop. We talked about its reusability, right? It's a benefits. So then next, what are the different types of loop we have? There are different types. The first loop we have in a Python is a for loop, right? For loop. Second we have is the while loop, right? We'll talk about each of this in detail, right? So for loop and while loop, right? How the for loop will help, how the while loop will help, what is the purpose, how do we use that, we'll see one by one. Like, let's come back to the first type of the loop. Is nothing but for loop, right? For loop, right? Now, what is a for loop and what is the syntax of for loop we need to understand first, right? The for is the keyword, right? For is the keyword. So there is a for. How do you write the syntax? What is the syntax of this for loop in a Python, right? For, I'll have variable, some variable, for some variable in. You know, in there is an in operator we have learned. Which operator this is? Membership operator, correct? In and not in, right? So for I in sequence, colon. See, you know, right? In a Python there is no bracket. Like other programming languages, we have this bracket, open bracket and then closing bracket, right? For if, for etc, we'll have this open bracket and close bracket for functions, etc. But in the Python we don't have that. In the Python we don't have that, right? Then what is there in a Python, right? So Python, we have to always, how do I say that this is the block in a Python? We have to give a tab, equal space. The statement under the loop should be equally spaced. So equally spaced means what, right? Equally spaced means, one second. Okay, so what is mean by equally spaced? Either the statement here, statement 1, statement 2, all these needs to be either it is one space, two space or one tab, etc. Equally spaced. So now you can see there are the two statements under this loop. If I write any statement just below the for here now, like statement 3, this is not under the for loop. This is not under the for loop, meaning that this statement will be executed only once. Only these two statements will be executed as part of this for loop multiple times based on the whatever the thing. Now what is a sequence here? What is mean by sequence? Sequence means we have a several, like one thing is sequence means is a list, tuple, set, string, range. All these are called as an sequence in a Python. List, tuple, set, string and range. These are the sequences, meaning that now I can replace this sequence with anything. What I said, I can replace with list, I can replace with range, tuple, set, etc. Right? Now how do I write? Taken simple. See, this is all about the syntax. This is the syntax for loop. Right? Syntax for loop. Right? Now take an example. How do I give? One example we'll see. Right? Take an example. I wanted to print numbers, natural numbers. I wanted to print. Right? I want to print from 0 to 9. Right? How do I print it? I'll say for loop. Right? Variable. Any variable. See, in a syntax it is saying variable. You can take any variable name. Right? I will take variable name I, J, K, etc. So I like I. So I am taking I. For I. Now next one is a membership operator in. For I in. Now I can use any sequence. So first we will see all sequence, but let's see. First we'll start with a range. Range. You know range. Range will have starting index and end index. So I'll give starting as a 0 and end as a 10. Right? Then we have to give colon. Enter one tab. And I want to print this value of I. Understood? Right? You see this same thing. For variable in sequence. For I in sequence. That is nothing but range. Starting value is 0. End value is 10. End is excluded. Means it will go from 0 to 9. If I print this, it is going to print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9. In a vertical direction. You know, right? In Python, print will print and go to the new line automatically. So it is going to print in vertical, right? Vertical. So how do I do that? Let's run this. Control X. I'll just say this and I'll take it up and then save this and run it. Run mode. You got it? You see, the result is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9. Now, how do I print this in horizontal line? It was printing in vertical line. How do I print in horizontal line? I can say comma, right? Comma, what is that, guys? End equal to empty. If I give end equal to empty, now it is not going to print in a vertical. It is going to print on the same line. It is going to print on the same line. Let's run this now. Run mode. Save. See here, it is printing in a horizontal now. 0 to 9. Understood, guys? So this is the loop. Right? Now let's think about an little bit more into this loop, right? So it's not just only this, right? So let's take an example. I wanted to print an table. Table of 5, table of 6 or 10, whatever it is, right? How do I print this? Now see, generally kids will write the table, right? Table means like tens table. How it will be? 10, then there will be an square. Where is the square here? Do we get square here in this? I don't know whether we have key in a keyboard, so I'll use this star. Okay, 10 into 1 equal to 10, right? Then 10 into 2 equal to 20. This is what the table will be written by the kids, right? 10 ones are 10, 10 twos are 20, right? Now how do I write this program? I don't want to write this 10 times, right? So I can write only one print statement, and that print statement must be executed 10 times, right? So that will have a table. How I will do it? Let's take which table you wanted to print it. We can ask the user, right? Now we are printing 10s table, but sometimes user might say I need 5s table, right? I need 6 table, right? So the table may vary. So we'll ask user, give me a table, right? Number equal to, I'll say, to ask user we have a function called as an input. So what I'll say, enter a number, right? Enter a table number. Which table you want, right? I'm asking the user. Now you guys know this will be in string. We need to convert this into an integer. So I'm converting this into an integer. Now I have the table with me. I need to use for loop now. For I in range. Now we need to decide the value of range. What is the value of range will be? We have to start with 1. Table always start with 1, right? 1 to 10. So that means I have to start with 1. Can I give 10 here now? No, because if I give 10 here, we will go till 9 only. I need 10 also, so I'll give 1 to 11. Okay, got it? Then we'll give a colon. Right? Now I need to just print in this format. Right? How do I print it? Print has multiple formats. One more way I will teach you now is how do I use format specifiers. You guys might have learned earlier in other programming languages like C or C++. Format specifier are like %d for integer, %f for float, %c for character, right? So these are the integer values, like 10 is an integer, 1 is an integer, this 10 is also integer, right? So for integers, format specifier is %d. So I wanted to put 10 here, 10, right? After 10, I'm going to print star, right? So I'll write a star directly here, right? I'll write a directly star, space. Then what? Again integer value. For integer 1, right? 1 or 2. For that also I have to use format specifier. What is the format specifier? %d. Then space. Now what is that I need to print? Equal, right? You see here I need to print equal sign. So I'll give equal, right? I'll give equal. Space. I have given some space. Then what I need to print? I need to print result, right? Which is again integer. So I'll say here %d. Understood? This is how we write format print statement in a Python. Formatted print statement. Format specifier %d. Now here generally in other programming language we use comma. And variable names, but in a Python we should use percentage. Now percentage and in bracket. This is the format. Now %d, first one need to be replaced with what? See, this is a 10. Always it will be 10. And what is the 10? Where you are getting? In number. Which table you wanted to print? 5 table, 6 table. So that value is nothing but number. comma. Next, what is the next value? This one, second percentage d. What is the second percentage d? It is 1, 2, 3, 4. Whose value is changing like 1, 2, 3, 4? I's value. I's value is changing like 1, 2, 3, 4. So then second one is I. Second one is a I, comma. Next one is what? Result of these two. Which two? This and this. This and this. Right? Which is this? What is this? This is number. And what is this? This is I. So I have to multiply number and I. Right? So here I'll write num into I. Num into I. Understood, guys? Understand? I got a table. Which table we wanted to print it. And I am looping through 1 to 10 because table will have generally 1 to 10. Now 5's table if I wanted to print, then I have to print 5. Always 5. This 5 ones, 5 2s, 5 3s like this. So this 1 2 will be I's value. Right? I will change to 1 2 3 4. Next one, this is the result of multiplication of these two. Right? This was the result of that. Right? Now let's run this and we'll see whether answer is proper or not. Answer is proper or not. Okay? So let me get these things. Control X and run this. Run mode. Save it and it will run. Now it is going to ask me which table we wanted to print it. Right? Let's say I wanted to print 10's table. You see the result? Right? 10 ones are 10, 10 twos are 20, 10 2 3s are 30 like this. Understood, guys? Understood what we learned till now. What we learned till now is what is a loop, what are the advantages of loop, and then we have taken one example, right? And then we have seen first loop as an for loop. First loop as an for loop. So this is the for loop, right? And syntax for loop is this. Syntax for loop is this. Then we have seen first example, printing the natural numbers between 1 to or 0 to 9, right? 0 to 9, right? Then we have seen second one, what we have seen is the printing the table, right? Table, right? This is the second example. This is the example 1, right? Example 1, and then this is an example 2 for table. Example 2. Understood, guys? Any doubts here? Any doubt? No doubt, right? Okay. So if you do not have a doubt, let's continue, right? I'll just paste this in your chat, so you will have this information with you, right? So let's continue with the next one, right? So now let us talk about how do I use some other functionality with this for loop, right? Break and continue, etc. Break and continue, right? So the for loop, with the for loop we can use a break and continue. How, we will see. Now you guys know this is going to print an 0 to 10, 0 to 10, right? And I am going to print in vertical direction like this, vertical direction. Now what if I do not wanted to print one statement into this is like 5. I want to print everything 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, but I want to skip the 5. Then 6, 7, 8, 9. Like that I want to print. I want to skip one statement. Then that means for that means which one I want to skip? 5. For when the i's value is 5, we should skip this print statement. Right? Because print is only printing the value, right? It is only getting i's value 0 and printing it, i's value 1 printing it, i's value 2 printing it. Because range is giving the value like this. Range is giving the value like this, 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 9. Up to 9. This range will give that value, right? Because 10 is excluded. Now it is going to print that 0 to 9. It is going to print as 0. Then what if I am printing this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, but I want to skip the 5 and then print 6, then 7, then 8, 9, right? What if I want to skip the 5? How do I skip? I will use conditional statement inside the for loop. Conditional statement. How that? So I have to say if i's value is 5, i's value is 5, do not run this print statement. Do not run this print statement. Means if you do not want to run this print statement, I have to use one keyword called as continue. What is that keyword? Continue. For loop, I said whenever there is an i's value is 5, continue. Now what will happen here? I's value is 0, it will check this. 0 is equal to 5? No, false. So it will print 0. Then next it will go up. I's value will become 1 now. Now 1 is equal to 5? No, it will print 1. Then next i's value will be 2 now. 2 is equal to 5? No, so it will print this. Then i's value will be 3. Then this is false, again print 3. I's value will become 4, then false and print 4. Then i's value will become 5. When i's value is become 5, the 5 is equal to 5. Condition is true, it will say continue. When it says continue, it will go up, it won't go below. So that means we have skipped printing the 5. When it go up, i's value will become 6. And 6 is equal to 5? No, so it will going to print 6. Then it will print further, right? So this is what it is going to do when you use continue statement. Continue use to skip the statement below that. Skip the statement below that in a loop, right? Let's run this. Run model. Save and run it. You see here, it is going to print 0, 1, 2, 3, but 5 is not there. 5 is not there. It has skipped the 5, right? You see here, there is no 5, right? So that's the continue statement will do. That's the continue statement will do, right? Now what if I wanted to, this is for continue. Continue is to skip the statement below that. Next is, let's take an example. I wanted to, I have a range 0 to 10, correct? I have a range 0 to 10. But I wanted to print only 0 to 5. I wanted to print only 0 to 5, not up to the 10. One thing is I can change here 6. See, if I change here 6, then it will print 0 to 5. Because range will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because 6 is excluded. Second thing is, if I do not want to change the range. If I do not want to change the range, I want to keep the range as it is, 0 to 10. But I want to print 1 to 5. Then I need to check whenever i's value is 6, I need to use another keyword. Another keyword to stop the loop. To stop the loop, because I don't want to continue the loop now. I want to print only 0 to 5. When the i's value becomes 6, I need to stop this loop and come out of this loop. To come out of the loop, I have another keyword called as break. I have another keyword called as break. So the moment i's value will become 6, it will say break and it will come out of the loop. Come out of the loop means it is going to come here, here, whatever I have written here. It is going to come out here, right? Because these statements are part of this loop, right? And if it is, I will write here, run out of loop. So it is going to come here. Right? So the break is used to break out of the loop. Now let's run this. Run model. You see here, or let me close it and run so that you will get freshly on the top. See here. So how much it will print now? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and out of the loop. Though your range is up to 10, it is not going to print, because when the i's value is 6, it is going to say break. It will come out of the loop. It will come out of the loop. Understood, guys? Understood? Any doubts till here? Till now, any doubt? Any doubt? No doubt, right?
Sir.
Yes.
Actually, in previous program we have executed like a modulus d. That is number, no sir. If that is a string means how to do?
Now string means it in double code you have to write. If it is a string, you in double code. So generally you don't need to have format specifier for a string, right? These are the numbers. So I wanted to have it. String means you just give it in double code. right? Let's take an example.
Okay.
I'll give an example to you, right? Um, you want to print something like, let's take an example. You have something like this. I have a name equal to something in a string. This is like a Raj, right? So you don't need format specifier for this. You can just say print name, right? String variable you don't need to take in double quote. If you take it in a double quote, then it will be treated as a that that's it will be treated as a string, right? So now if I say like this, take an example. I'll just remove this now. So it's just, you don't need format specifier for string. You need a format specifier only if you wanted to print an integer or float, right? So you see this will be printed as it is. Got it? So since it was a table, I have given
Yes, sir.
that, right? I have given that percentage d. Got it? So you can use for float also. Okay. So let's
Okay, sir.
yeah. So let's come back to, and next one is, as I said to you earlier, right? This loop you can use it with. See, till now we have seen what is the loops. What are the advantages of loop? First we started with for loop. What is the syntax of for loop? How do I write a for loop? Two examples we have seen for natural number, and we have seen for table. Second, we have seen what are the different keywords I can use with a for loop. One is to continue, another is a break, right? Continue to continue the loop, and break is to break out of the loop, right? At the same time, we will see one more thing, as I said to you earlier, the for loop you can use with a sequence, right? For loop you can use with a sequence. So what are the sequence we have seen? Like there are different sequence we have, like a list, tuple, string, range, etc. Right? Let me try with string now. Let me try with one more called as a string, right? So I'll create one, or I'll start with an string. As I said a string, let's start with a string, right? So take an example. I have one variable here, or I can directly give here string like this, right? I like a fruit banana. I'll write here BANA, right? BANA or NA. Spelling, don't go with spelling guys. I am very weak in English, okay? So let's take an example. This is our program. You guys know what we are doing here now? I am looping through the string. See, what is needed here? Sequence. Is the string is a sequence? Yes, string is a sequence. I can write this, or I can create one variable here, like a fruit, UID, fruit, and then I can here write a banana. A single quote, double quote, whichever you wanted to use, BANA, and I can replace that fruit here. Anything you can do it, guys. FRUIT. You can do this also. Earlier also was correct. I directly written string here. Now I am using variable name also, which is also correct. Now what will happen, guys? You are going to get one value from this string. You guys know, right? From string you are going to get this. This is index. String is index. We are going to learn that in future. String is index. So it is going to get first value B and give it to I, and it will print B. Then next value A, it will give it to I and it will print A. Next value N, it will give it to I and it will print N. Next value is A, it will give it to I and it will print A. Next value is N, it will give it to I and it will print. Let's run this. So, and you know, right, print in a Python will print and go to the new line, not like other programming language. Printf in a C language will not go automatically to the new line. You have to use /n to go to the new line. It will be always on the same line, right? So here it is not like that. It will go automatically to the new line. Print will print and go to the new line. So that means it is going to print in vertical direction. Save and run. You see here? So it printed banana in a vertical direction. Understood, guys? Understood? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right? So let's go to the next one. I'll reduce so that you will have both. result also here, and screen also here. Hopefully this will stay. No, it is not staying. I'm trying to make both the things stay at same place. Okay, right? Next thing is this is what for an string. Let's use an list. Let's use an list. Since we said fruits, now we need to be an continue with the fruits only. So I'll use list now, right? We have seen range for with a for loop, then we have seen a string with a for loop. Now we'll use list. So I'll have list of fruits like banana, and then I'll have another fruit like an apple, apple. Then I'll have another fruit like cherry, something like that, right? So I'll have one more fruit like cherry, right? So then so these are the fruits I have. Now I'm going to loop through this list. So instead of fruit, I'll say fruits, because there is a list of fruits, right? So for I in fruits, that means what is going to happen here, guys? So list is also index. This is 0th position, 1st position, 2nd position. So I will get first value from the first fruits, list of the fruits. The first value is banana, so it will print banana. Then go up, I will get next value. What is the next value? Apple, and then print apple. Then I will get next value cherry, then it will print cherry. So we are going to loop through the list. Loop through the list. Now let's run this. Run mode. Save it and run it. Now you see here. How do I show you guys? Is it visible? Is it visible? You see here banana, apple, cherry.
Yes, sir.
Right? Let me close it out and run it so that you will see properly on the top. Right? Run mode. You see here, right? So it is like banana, apple, cherry. So it is one by one from the list. One by one from the list. Understood, guys? Similarly, you can use this with a set. You can use this with a tuple. Right? Those are other sequences which I am not going to cover now. I hope you understood the concept now. I hope you understood the concept. Correct? Right? So now let's go and learn one more thing. Okay, thank you. So let's go and learn something different now. Now Python is a little different language here. Python is a little different language. So Python will bring one more concept. Python will bring one more concept is else keyword with a for loop. Else keyword with a for loop means generally in other programming language else will exist only with a if. Only with a if. But in a Python we'll have else keyword with a for loop also. With the loops also we can say. We can say else will exist with the loop. How? Like I will say for I in range. For I in range, and I will write here. Now I will write only 6, guys. Earlier I have given starting index and end index. If I don't give starting index and end index, what will happen here? You know, right? By default it will start from 0. By default it will start from 0, and this 6 will be considered as the end value. Means you are not going to go till the 6. You are going to go till the 5. 0 to 5. Understand? Earlier I have given starting index and end index. Now I am giving only end index. If I give this, starting will be always with a 0 by default. Okay? Now let's take an example. I want to print this I. Right? Print this I. So if I print this I, what it is going to print, guys? It is going to print 0 to 5. 0 to 5, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what if I do not wanted to print, or let's take an example, I wanted to have, as I said, for loop will have else. So I'll write one else here. Right? And then I'll say print I am in else. Right? I am in else. Right? Now when this else will be executed? So when this else will be executed, you see here there is a for, and for you have else associated. This is else is associated with this for loop. But when this else will be executed, This else will be executed only if this entire range is exhausted. Entire range is exhausted means you are consuming all the values from the range 0 to 5. If you break this loop in middle, you are not going to go into else. If you are not breaking, your loop is getting exhausted, then only it is going to come here. Now in this case, you know, right, we are not breaking the loop. We are printing all 5, 6 values 0 to 5. In that case, it is going to go into an else also. Let's run this. Run model. You see here, it is printing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then it is saying I am in else. That means it went into an else also. It went into an else also. Right? As per our program, there is no break into an loop. So all the values of this loop or range are exhausted, so it went into an else. But when it will not go into an else, say for example, I will break in the middle. I'll say like if i's value is 4, I say break. I's value is 4, I'll say break. Now remember, in this case we are not going to consume all the values of range. I'm not going to loop through entire range 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I'm going to run only 0 to 3 because whenever i's value is 4, I'm saying break. Right? That means further values I'm not executing. I'm just using 0 to 4. Fifth I'm not using. So my loop is not exhausted. If my loop is not exhausted, I have not consumed all values, it will not go into else. It will not go into an else. Else will be executed only if you are not breaking the loop in middle. Breaking the loop in middle. Run this. Run model. And then you see it will not execute else now. You see here 0 to 3 it printed and it break the loop. So we have not gone into an else. Understood guys? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So let's go to the next now. Next concept is how do we say next concept is like a nested for loop. This is about a for loop. Let's learn nested for loop. Nested for loop. Nested for loop means for loop inside for loop. For loop inside for loop. Now you guys know the same way for where in syntax of that I am writing for where in sequence colon, right? Again for where, this is the where one. Let's take an example. This is the where one. Now nested for loop means there is a for loop and inside this for loop there is another for loop. So I have given one tab here and I am writing another for loop. So where to in and sequence. In sequence. Now here there will be a statement. Statement 1, statement 2, etc. Understood guys? Now these two statements are part of this nested for loop. This is the outer for loop and this is the inner for loop. This is the inner for loop. So for inside there is another for. So this is called as a nested for loop. Nested for loop. Right? Nested for loop. Right? Understood? Now let's take an example of this. Right? How do I take? I'll take an again list. Right? Sometime back we have taken an fruits. Right? I'll have one list of fruits. Right? So fruit. See, you guys know, right? You need a 2 dimensions here now. Right? This is a 2 dimension. This is the outer. This is the inner. Like row and columns like that. Right? So I will take 2 lists. I'll take one list is of the fruits, right? Sometime back we have added a fruits. Take an example. I'll use banana, right? And then again I'll say apple, right? APPLE, right? Apple, and then I'll write guava, right? So these are the fruits I have written. Now I want to have one more list is some adjective about this fruits. So adjective about this fruit. Maybe what kind of color and all, that adjective I wanted to have. The fruits adjective, right? List of the fruits adjective, right? So let's take an example. All these fruits are in red. I don't know, guava will be red, but I am writing it red. Okay. Then next color is I will say like an adjective is all these are big fruits. Banana is big, apple is big, and guava is big. So some adjective, right? And at the same time I am writing all these fruits are tasty, right? So now you see here I want to have two dimensions, right? For loop inside for loop. First I will loop through an adjective, right? So that means what? For I'll say I in, what is that? ADJ. What this is going to give, guys? This is going to give red, big, and tasty. Now what if I wanted to say the banana is red and banana is big and banana is tasty, or I want to say red banana, apple, guava, right? So then I will have another for loop inside this, for J in. Now J in what? Fruits. J in fruits. F-R-U-I-T-H, fruits. Now what will happen here, guys? Every value of I means every value of this adjective, inner loop will run 3 times. Inner loop will run 3 times. Red banana, red apple, red guava. Then next value of adjective, big. Big banana, big apple, big guava. Every value of outer value, inner value will run that many times. So tasty banana, tasty apple, tasty guava. Understood? For every single value of outer loop, inner loop will run that many times. Inner loop will run that many times. Now simple thing, I'll just say print. What is that I want to print now? I comma j. That's all, right? Now what is the value in I? First time I get value from I is a red. So I is a red now. Remember, right? I is a red. So here I is red now. Right? Now I will come inside J. J is going to get a value from the fruits. What is the value of fruits? Banana. So it is going to print red banana. Now it is not going to go up because inner loop is not completed. It will go to the fruits again. J will get next fruit. Which fruits? Apple. It will get J will get apple. Now I is already there, red apple. Then again go fruits. Do you have value in a fruits? Yes, guava. J will become guava. So it will print again. I's value is red guava. Then it will go and see value is there in a fruits. Do you have value? No. So then it will go to the adjective. And adjective it will say give me a next value. What is the next value? Big. So I will become big. Then you come inside J fruits, again start banana. So it will print big banana. Fruits will have value, so it will go and get next value apple. Then it will print big apple. Next it will go and get it value from the fruits guava. So it will print big guava. Then is there any value in the fruits now? No. So it will go up. Adjective. Do you have value in adjective after big? Yes. What is that? Tasty. So I will become tasty. Right? Now fruits. Do you have values in the fruits? Yes. First value is banana. So J will become banana. So tasty banana. Then apple. J will become apple. Tasty apple. Then the fruits. Guava. J will become guava. Then tasty guava. Then it will go and check whether is there anything in a fruits? No. Then it will go and check in adjective. Is there anything after tasty in a adjective? No. Stop. Understood, guys? Understood? Understood? I hope you understood this, right? The syntax
Yes,
for
sir. Yes, sir.
okay, very good. Syntax for nested for loop. This is like this, and this is the example for that for loop. This is the example for loop, right? So let's run this. I'll just Control C and Control X. I'll remove. Run this program. Run model, right? And then let's see the output of this. You see here, red banana, red apple, red guava. See the first value, i's value is not going to change. Every value of I inner loop will run 3 times. Inner loop will run 3 times. Every value of I. For big, every value of big inner loop will run 3 times. Tasty 3 times. Understood, guys? This is called as a nested for loop. This is called as a nested for loop. I hope you understood this, right? So one thing I wanted to tell you is one more keyword I missed it is I have covered break and continue, but one last keyword is the pass, right? There is one keyword called as pass, right? Pass is used, it is a do nothing statement. It is a do nothing statement. It is not going to do anything. It is not going to do anything, but it will help us to complete the syntax of our program. Let's take an example. I am saying for I in range. For I in range, and I say here value as a 6, right? And I said colon. I don't want to do anything here, but I want to do at the end. I want to print one thing is end of program. I want to say here end of program. End of program. Program. End of program. Now I want to run this program. I don't want to do anything in a loop. There is a loop, but I don't want to do anything in a loop. If I run this program, will it work now? Will it work? No, it will not work because your syntax is not proper. You see here, it is saying expected and indented block. There is no syntax proper because in a for loop you must need to have indentation properly, right? Whenever there is a for loop you are defining, it should be one tab. Statement below that should be one tab, right? But here you see here this statement is not one tab, so it is giving an error because it is not indented properly. Then how do I complete the syntax? See, my intention is I don't want to have anything in a for loop, but I want this end of program to be executed. So one keyword I have is to complete the syntax is pass. This pass will complete the syntax now. Though it is not going to do anything, this loop is not going to do anything, but it will complete the syntax and this statement will be printed. This statement will be printed. Which statement? Print statement will be printed. Okay? This is a do nothing. This is a do nothing. It will not do anything, but it helps me to complete my syntax. Let's run this. Save it. And this time it will not throw an error. It will say end of program. Understood, guys? You can use pass everywhere. You can use in else also, if else also, right? Just to complete the syntax. If you do not want to have anything under that. Understood? The pass is to complete the syntax. Do nothing statement. It is do nothing statement. Okay. So quick recap. What we have seen. We have seen what is the loops, right? And what are the advantages of loops? Advantages, right? Advantages: reusability, not to write multiple times, and loop through data structures, right? Advantages. Then we have seen types. There are different types of loop. One is a for loop, second one is a while loop, right? The for loop. Then we started about the for loop. Then we have seen what is the syntax of for loop, right? Syntax of for loop, right? SYNTAX, syntax of for loop. And we have seen for loop can be used with different sequences: list, tuple, set, string, and range, etc. Then we have seen how do I use for loop with range, right? And then one example with a string, and then one example with a list, right? Then we have seen different keywords with a for loop. Those keywords are break, right, continue, right, and then pass, right? These are the three keywords within for loop. Then we have seen nested for loop, right? So which is nothing but for loop inside the for loop, and we have seen one example of this. I hope you understood this. I hope you understood. Any questions, guys?
Yes, sir.
Any question? Anybody has any doubt? Anybody has any doubt? Any doubt, guys?